Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's head on over to Sylphid. In the top center of the map, we have, spawning as the Brown Zerg, a, what would you call, Korean, Canadian? Canadian, Korean? Which one comes first?
Yeah, Canadian. I think alphabetically you go with the countries first, so
okay.
Canadian, Korean.
We have cRoSs.
And at the bottom right corner, we have the Canadian Iranian cRoSs TT1. Now, these two have actually faced in NASL before. It was in the last season, and it was 3-1 in TT1's favor, but there were two games where cRoSs had a massive advantage, and due to not scaling his army properly for late game, he just stayed on lair too much, which is something we see very often these days. Just Zerg staying on Hydras for way too long, and then they're on 2-1 Hydras versus a 3-3 cRoSs, and then the fights start looking differently. We had that happen twice. So despite TT1 being behind in the majority of the games in that series, he was able to win 3-1. So I think cRoSs is going to do something different. He's going to mix things up a bit. TT1. Oh, did you see that? He made his gateway in the wrong position, canceled it, and remade.
Oh, no, I wasn't looking at TT1. That's pretty uncharacteristic. Of course, TT1 is one of the most exacting players in the foreign scene that I can think of. Never stops making probes, doesn't miss, you know, like any of his timings. He's super, super precise, very robotic player. Mega macro man as well. So that's pretty surprising to see him make a little mistake like that. He's a huge Brood War nerd who always knows all of like the walls and everything that there is to know. So,
all right, it's actually gonna backfire big time because cRoSs is going for hatchery first. Only 11 hatch. With 11 hatch, you do get the lings out in time before Zealots gets to your base. So that's why we're seeing 11 and not 12. And the slightly delayed gateway, and of course TT1 does lose. I think it's 25% of a. What's 25% of 150? Like 37.5 minerals. Those are minerals he's not gonna have back. So everything's gonna be slightly delayed for TT1. Looks like we're not gonna see that funky forge follow up that he did against Yad.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Just gonna go one Zealot into Nexus, but cRoSs is gonna see this. Now this is a good response against the one gate. I mean against the 11 hatch. Because you get your economy up, and the follow-up is going to be such that you can defend from the lings once they're out on the map. Looks like cRoSs is going to make instantly 6 lings. Let's see if he makes more at his net. TT1 making a second Zealot. Forge should be soon. The goal here is to occupy cRoSs with this Zealot, and then be defended by the time cRoSs can get to his natural. cRoSs making even more lings at his net. The Zealot can get a good position in the mineral line here. But, of course, cRoSs could just ignore that and go straight for TT1's base. Looks like, nope. This is what I'm talking about. Look how inefficient these Zerglings are going to trade.
So
I would actually not even engage the Zealot, right?
Yeah, you can just leave him there. There's no drones here currently at your natural expansion.
And it looks like this Zealot is going to end up with 5 Zergling kills, and it's going to keep denying mining from this net.
Wow.
cRoSs going across the map with only 2 lings.
What a weird decision there.
Zealot is still there. It should probably kill 1 more Zergling before it dies. cRoSs making even more lings. It's going. TT1's keeping this pro alive, which is important. We do want to see if it's going to be lair or Hydras.
Man, this is so many early lings.
Yeah, cRoSs not giving away the tech.
Is the stream lagging for anybody? It's lagging for me a little bit.
The stream looks fine.
Okay.
So that was curious. cRoSs went for a lair at the net, knowing that TT1 would see it. Not in the main, after the pro had already left. I would have thought it was to do a fake out, but looks like he's just going to continue with the lair.
Maybe it's a double fake out. He's putting it there so TT1 will think it's a fake out, but then it's for real.
Alright, so more lings being picked off by Zealots. cRoSs making even more lings in response to this 3 Zealot move out. We do have the front Zealot on its own. Bit unfortunate there for TT1.
Yeah, lots of lost HP on that guy. He's going to essentially just be completely useless in this fight. So this is a nice little victory.
Yeah, and this is actually a very delayed core from TT1. If you can see, the core is about a quarter of the way done, and the spire, the lair, is almost completed.
Wow. Alright, all the Zealots have been taken out. One has gotten into the main, though, going to scout out and check on the tech and everything like that. He sees that there is no Hydra Den, though, so everything is as expected. Wow, gets a drone immediately. That is, dude, cRoSs is playing very uncharacteristically sloppy.
Yeah, cRoSs even forgot link speed, you could tell. Look at his link speed starting. It's about halfway done now, and look at the spire. It actually only started now. The lair's been done for quite a while. TT1 keeping cRoSs busy.
Oh my gosh, another drone goes down too. We have a third, or another Zealot rather, coming over here to the third.
I do really like leaving the 4 lings behind. 4 lings is ideal, but now we get another good position from the Zealot.
God, so annoying.
Yeah, so we were in position to deal with the Zealot until we weren't. Now we're gonna trade inefficiently yet again, and TT1 keeps rallying Zealots across the map. Fortunately, you can do this when Zerg doesn't have blink speed, so TT1 taking advantage of that. He's actually going into Citadel immediately. No Stargate.
Signature TT1 move.
We have the being hidden. No second guess quite yet from TT1. Looks like we're going into mass speed loss. Now this I don't understand. We did see the spire, right? We saw that spire.
I think TT1 feels like he's so far ahead though with the Zealot harassment that if he just pumps speed lots across the map, you know, ad nauseum, he can get a lot done here, which is, I mean, decidedly pretty true. I mean, look at the worker count here. He's got more than what he needs as far as a huge worker advantage goes. If he just continues to pump Zealots across the map, there's no way that the mutas are going to be able to deal with that many Zealots that quickly.
Alright, so it looks like cRoSs has no idea this is up. He's making Scourge and not mutas, producing Hydras already. So it worked out in TT1's favor big time. Another thing I want to take notice of is during all that pressure from TT1, cRoSs's drone saturation has been a little bit jank. He only had 5 on minerals at his net. Meanwhile, his third has 10, way oversaturated there. Not optimal mining efficiency. It's like TT1 is following this up with Dragoon range, and he's going to go speed lot into Dragoon. Not very strong against what cRoSs is doing though. Is cRoSs ever going to make mutas? Looks like he is, so never mind. Mutas actually do surprisingly poorly against Dragoons. Especially if you only make the 5, which is a response to Protoss that skips targets. You get those 5 mutas, start abusing the fact that they can't attack up. TT1 at cRoSs's third, but critically this is just before +1 finishes, so if cRoSs takes a fight, it'll actually work out for him.
Alright, one shrimp boy in the air floating around, and as you said, man, those Zerglings are trading surprisingly efficiently right now. Zealot's getting a little caught up here in the natural as well, allowing that Sunken Colony to do a little bit more damage that it potentially should have. Of course, 3 Zealots in the main is still pretty good, even with a couple of mutas chasing them, because it does take quite a while for those mutalists to DPS them down in the meantime. We do have cRoSs across the map here right now, catching a couple more of the Zealots on their way back home, just trying to get as many of these units as possible while he kind of has the overwhelming unit advantage. So, gonna send cRoSs back home now. He does see that there are 4 Dragoons on the way and a couple of Zealots as well. We do have the Sunken here still at the natural expansion, but the Dragoons can potentially poke down one of these bases here if cRoSs doesn't continue to produce units.
So I saw, this is TT1 style. He likes to keep the pressure on, just keeps attacking, never letting Zerg drone up. And cRoSs managed to sneak in a tiny drone cycle. He was at 30 drones, made 2 Sunkens. So he lowered that count a bit, but before those Zealots got in, he was up to a much healthier 34. But even then, he's still undersaturated at this point in the game, and TT1's just going to keep the pressure on.
Yeah, for 6 hatcheries, he's really not going to be able to use up all these larvae like he wants to. Would really like to have a very big Hydra army already, but unfortunately that is just not the case. Not too many Zealots with this, so the Zerglings are going to be a bit more effective than they normally would be.
You know, with +1 done, you really want Zealots to combat all these lings, but it looks like TT1's going to get sandwiched here on 3 sides.
And Ling Muta pretty darn good versus Dragoons, especially with Hydralisk support. Lings do spectacular DPS, same with Hydralisk, and of course Mutas don't take very much damage. And they, you know, of course, do a good job at distracting the fire off of the squishier DPS units as well. We have cRoSs just migrating his way across the map here, trying to get as much damage done to this Protoss army as possible here, and he does get a lot of units for that good chase here, and losing a couple Hydralisks is certainly worth it in comparison to how expensive Dragoons are for the Protoss.
Yeah, a bit premature from TT1 to go in with a mostly Dragoon army. If you add maybe 5 more Zealots in that fight, it looks a lot differently if the Zealots just eat up the Lings before they get any damage done on the Dragoons. And with only what was initially 5 Mutas and now 3, this number of Dragoons wasn't necessary.
Yeah, Dragoons are incredibly weak in the smaller numbers. It really doesn't work out very well until you've got the the Archons in the front and Storm supporting, that the Dragoons started to become a very powerful type of unit in this matchup here. And as you can see, just the pure Hydralisk, the numbers are just crushing through all of these Dragoons here. TT1 losing the just a vast majority of his army out here in the middle of the map, and this is very problematic. We are just having Storm coming in here, still not quite finished researching. Only 2 cannons here at the front of the wall. It's not to support these Zealots. One of the ones in the natural able to do a little bit of DPS to this Hydra wall here, but looks like the +1 armor is just going to be able to be finished here. TT1 now just throwing on some additional cannons to try and support this. We have a Dark Templar here, though. TT1 noticing there is no Overlord here, so this could be a potentially very valuable unit in keeping this wall protected and keeping TT1 alive for at least a little bit longer in this game.
Yeah, it looks like TT1's gonna live with this DT by the skin of his teeth, because if cRoSs had detection here, he could just keep advancing with this attack.
Yeah. The Zealots and the Cannons just buying enough time for that DT to slowly cut down the numbers of the Hydralisks here. So TT1 very, very, very smartly making that 1 DT after noticing there was no Overlord with the army here. Overlord speed still not been researched for cRoSs, so that is going to be a big deterrent for him getting across the map for quite some time. Of course, we do have cRoSs now establishing his 4th base, and he should be able to, make a huge couple of drone rounds here, as he has killed the vast majority of TT1's army, and so there's no real threat of TT1 moving across the map for a little while, despite the fact that Storm has been finished.
We were at a dangerously low number of drones there for a bit. We were at 31 drones, and adding a 7th hatch, no way we can produce on that economy, but with a drone cycle, adding 12 drones instantly, how great is it to be Zerg? Of course, that attack from cRoSs should have, you should expect that to do damage when you're that low on drones. You really focus on your army. So TT1 not in a terrible position, even after losing a large majority of his army. He had a much stronger economy in the early and mid game, and now we're going to transition into a position where cRoSs, even though he did win that fight, he's still not in an overwhelming economic position, even on 4 bases versus just 2.
Yeah, winning that fight really allowed cRoSs to get back into the game as far as economy goes. We are now at a pretty decently healthy drone count here with 46. We're going to have more once all these bases get up and running and all that. But remember, cRoSs was on Hydralisk this entire time, so it's not like we have like a big ball of Lurkers or anything built up yet. We're still just on Hydra Man here. Lurkers now just getting morphed here in the middle of the map. One thing that is really nice is that cRoSs is going to be able to, at least for some time, try and deny this 3rd, because he does have a very nice sized army.
And with TT1 with a very low number of Dragoons, looks like he's producing Mass Dragoons now to build up that number. And he's mined out on his main, so denying this 3rd is actually very important. Every second that this 3rd isn't mining makes TT1's build and position look way more all-in. TT1 is upgrading off a 2nd forge, so it looks like the timing for his attack is going to be just as his 3rd gets set up and his +2 armor finishes. Still posturing, building up energy on his High Templars. Looks like 1 gets picked off.
Does get a pretty underwhelming Storm off before that happens. We do have a decent number of Dragoons here, enough to potentially combat these Lurkers. But the Zealots are taking a lot of damage here from the Lurkers before they go down here. We have 2 Storms on this High Templar. One more. There we go. And TT1 does clean that fight up, and that is going to certainly secure him his 3rd base, which is a very, very big victory.
Yeah. Look at TT1's main, though. 1 patch already just mined out. So he needs to probably double expand in this position even, because he doesn't want to end up in a position where he's only on his 3rd base. He did win that fight, so that's a huge plus for him. And we still have 2 High Templars left. By the time there's another fight, we should have a couple more Storms. TT1 should be starting to mix in High Templars, knowing that he's at a mineral, what is it? His economy really is starving for minerals. Looks like he's going to mix in a couple High Templars here. His 3rd is about to finish. Can't even afford to make a lot of cannons to defend this base. And cRoSs's going to take a 5th, adding even more hatcheries. Is up to 9 hatcheries. A 10th going to be at his 5th. Looks like we're not going to go into a Hive, just Hydra Man again. But when you're on this economy, Hydra Man is a lot stronger. What TT1 has in his favor is the upgrades. He's on 2-2 versus just 2-0 for Hydras.
cRoSs is primarily a Hydra Man player, I think was what we've seen. And look at this gigantic arc of an attack! What a 6 around, coming from 270 degrees all over the map. The Hydras come in here. The Storms get spread out here. Of course, okay, so it was a cool, but what are you guys doing over here? This army's just like chilling. The flank was just like, all right, we're taking a break. That was good enough.
Yeah, but without Storm, that was the last Storm in TT1's army. Without Storm, the Hydra numbers are just too large.
Yeah.
And with the production cRoSs has with 10 hatcheries against what's essentially a 1-base Protoss now, TT1's Nat has mined out, and he doesn't have minerals to make a 4th. And it would be a big risk to not produce army at any moment now, knowing that cRoSs is going to keep attacking.
In the meantime, cRoSs just keeps on taking bases. Gonna try to out-econ this poor starved Protoss.
If TT1 can... he's getting a pylon at his 4th. Like, every mineral is precious for TT1. Not for cRoSs. cRoSs's still on 4 bases. His main and Nat nowhere near mined out. Good drone distribution. Looks like another flank is being set up. Good arc from cRoSs.
Yeah.
Sniping off a High Templar there.
Oh, but big Storm on that flanking army. cRoSs does just continue to come in at fantastic angles, though. And this is, I think, one of the reasons why he really excels at going Hydra Man, man. His army control is spectacular. He's always coming in with big, big arcs of fire to minimize the effectiveness of those High Templar. And it looks like we have just enough units here to clean all this up. And these Archons and the Dragoons, these are all very expensive units that TT1 does not want to have to keep replacing.
No, looks like that fight was a trade, but a trade in this scenario where TT1's on 1 base favors cRoSs. 1 armor finish on the Hydras, giving them a little more health. But the key here is the economy and the mass. And mostly Hydras. After the initial couple of lurkers, we haven't seen any more.
Alright, we do have a GG. But yeah, cRoSs wasn't really forced to make too many Hydras after that, because TT1 just continued to produce, you know, more and more and more Dragoons.
Alright, pretty good game from cRoSs. It looked a bit questionable early game with dealing with the Zealots. But killing off that first big army from TT1 at his net with a nice flank flipped the game in his favor.
Alrighty guys, that is game number 1 going to cRoSs in this best of 5 here. Of course, TT1 has plenty of time to make up for that loss here.
Alright, TT1's pick looks like it's gonna be Polypoid, one of the new maps this season. Curious it wasn't Match Point. Every Protoss I've seen has picked Match Point.
TT1 does like to play on maps that, unlike maps that he doesn't always play on, though. He always has a lot of interesting maps in his map folder, trying out all the new ASL maps and cool stuff. But man, that was a pretty close to an ideal start for TT1. Very interesting to see that go so sideways on him.
Yeah, his tech was a little bit later than you'd want, but the Zealots did so much damage, and he really had cRoSs rattled in the early game. It's like TT1 not gonna scout with this probe, unsure. With a normal player, it would indicate that they're gonna go gateway, but with TT1 it could be Nexus first, or it could just be a delayed forge. TT1 really likes to maximize his mining early game, but with the probe returning to the net, it's just going to be another gateway expand. And cRoSs with the unorthodox Overlord scouting, not going to the closest net. And he's going to go hatch first again. 11 hatch. TT1 using the probe to come in. Now this is to scout for an Overlord coming in from cRoSs's main to check his net. Doesn't see it. cRoSs 11 hatch, and he's going to go for 10 pull again. A good build against gateway first.
Oh man, yeah, so it looks like this Overlord scouting is going to throw TT1 off pretty hardcore. And that is going to delay the scout at the natural expansion for a pretty long time here. Oh my god, the probe doesn't even see the Overlord.
Yeah, just barely misses that Overlord. Now TT1 should see this drone coming from the north, and that'll be a tell that cRoSs at the top spawn. But maybe he won't realize it till it's already on the gateway, and it could have come from either base.
Yeah. Alright, well, this probe scout direction is going down to the bottom right-hand corner, so this is pretty unfortunate for TT1. The Zealot is probably going to head to bottom right, I would assume.
Yeah, and unlike the first game where TT1 went Nexus after one Zealot, he's actually producing more Zealots.
Oh man, and cRoSs, I think that little jaunt to the top showed TT1 that where cRoSs was for sure. So wasn't able to delay this Zealot maybe as much as he wanted to, but the drone pathing being really annoying, slowing down the Zealot a ton.
Where's the Zealot going?
Well, I don't know what TT1 is doing here. But this is going to be a highly unsuccessful one-gate expand. There's going to be like no damage done, essentially. Looks like he was heading directly to the third, but... I mean, you could have just gone straight north. There's two entrances to the third here.
It's scouted by the Overlords. Oh, crossing, gonna know what's up. TT1 leaving his other Zealots behind. Of course, he hasn't scouted cRoSs until now. Now he's going to see the bad news. This was an 11 hatch that he did nothing against. cRoSs even mixing in drones already. So at the third. Can he get behind the mineral lines again? Looks like he's just going to be able to. TT1 knowing the maps, finding another annoying position to locate his Zealot. It's like only one link can come in at a time. Nope.
Oh,
looks
nope,
like
two. Okay, that's significantly better then. 4 links can trade versus this with the double. Whoa, a third one gets through the mineral line, actually. Look at that. Alright, 3 Zealots now moving out. This is a spooky little timing. Of course, pretty standard when you go one gate. But still, lots of Zerglings are going to need to be produced here.
cRoSs does see it instantly before TT1 is halfway across the map even. Looks like this cannon is just going to be in time. Yep. Doesn't want to risk those 2 lings. Looks like cRoSs gonna go for Lair first again. Lair and then speed. So really favoring the fast tech against TT1's one gate. Looks like these Zealots just gonna go straight for the third, and they could possibly get a good position again behind that mineral line. He's leaving 2 Zealots at the ramp so they can trade favorably against these lings. But cRoSs not engaging yet. Looks like he's gonna try to go around.
Yeah, pretty smart here. He's going to have a second pair of Zerglings pop up here, and then you're going to have 4 up top the ramp, and that can fight the single Zealot. And then he's going
not
to
in a rush either because it's only 1 Zealot on the hatchery. It's going to take forever.
Yeah, and now he can surround the Zealots on the ramp here and get a good amount of damage on them and clean this up pretty quickly. TT1 knows this. Looks like he's going to pull off of the ramp now. Try to get into a good position to take these Zerglings with as much efficiency as possible. Ooh, moves right around behind the gas here and just finds himself the absolute best position to trade. This is going to go well for him, but of course, you know, you want to be as efficient as possible. And now cRoSs with a huge number of Zerglings on the map. You know, that little unfortunate. These could have all been drones, but you know, what you gonna do?
It looks like cRoSs Spire yet again not being made.
Oh, oh! There's a hole in the wall. Oh, cRoSs pushing on through, getting on top of. Not the cannon, apparently, using the Zergling speed to just get up the ramp here, and this is a massive number of speedlings to have in your main base here. cRoSs going to potentially do catastrophic damage here. TT1 instantly throws down a cannon in his mineral line, knowing that this is going to last a very long time. His Zealots cannot chase these lings down here, so it's all about stalling for as much time as possible, letting this cannon get up here so that the Zerglings become useless. In the meantime, TT1 does move across the map with some Zealots to try and create some pressure on the other side of the map, so we cannot continue this all in and to distract cRoSs from microing in his main base. But cRoSs continuing to get probe kills here in the main, denying a ton of mining time here, and cRoSs at the very last second, right before the cannon finishes up, knows that it's time to all in with his Zerglings, gets 2 more probe kills, and overall very, very efficient trade there in the main. Unfortunately, cRoSs still not, you know, really paying too much attention to the Zealots coming across the map here. Finds himself with a bunch of denied mining time in his third base as well. Of course, we do have his units. Oh my gosh, this stupid Ursidon.
Alright, so we had a couple of things happen here. cRoSs actually never made the Spire.
Oh no.
During all that micro, he didn't make the Spire, so now these Corsairs, which would have been late, considering cRoSs went for layer before speed, these courses that would have been late are actually getting overlord kills, and it's forcing cRoSs into an awkward position. He's making spores.
We do have 2 unprotected overlords here at the third. Currently, we do have a creep colony coming down here, so it doesn't look like there's going to be too much damage dealt. But in the meantime, despite the irritating timing of the Corsairs here in comparison, cRoSs has still just been able to eliminate tons and tons of Zealots. TT1 is going to take forever to put a push together here, and in the meantime, cRoSs is going to be operating off of 6 hatcheries with tons of production here. As you can see, we've pretty much caught up in the drone count as well, so we're going to have a huge army to fight against TT1's 2-base push here, and taking a third is going to be very difficult.
We have TT1 being very annoying with the Corsairs. Of course, you have to do this, otherwise Zerg will get away with just droning up, forcing them to make overlords. Is about as much damage as you can do, and he's following the.
Oh my gosh, dude! Look at that!
Where?
Oh no, you, dude, on stream. Oh my god, the world's most ridiculous AI glitching kills the probe instantly with 1 Zergling surrounded by Zealots. That is pretty unfortunate. I don't know if that was going to be an expansion attempt or what that was, but that is always super annoying when you lose the probe that's out there on the map.
TT1 is continuing to make Corsairs. He actually got +1 for them. I think he just never realized cRoSs never made a Spire, because why wouldn't you make a Spire? Hydra transition, I mean, yeah, he's going into Hydras now, mass Hydras. We have 6 hatcheries producing Hydras. We have a couple Corsairs coming into the main, gonna scout, trying to get off any stray overlords. Looks like cRoSs's overlord speed is late again, but not as late as last game. TT1 on 6-7 gateways, and he's finally mixing in Templars and Storm.
So it is big push time, but you know, this has been delayed. TT1 lost something like 8 Zealots or something like that, and all that early Zealot aggression. So this push is going to meet a lot of Hydralisks here. This hatchery going to be canceled.
Yep, so value from TT1 with these ults. You don't
Yep.
really expect to get much done with these.
Yeah, this like 700, 800 mineral investment here is literally just to force Zerg to make units.
And we're not getting much done with those ults, but the Corsairs do supply block Zerg again.
Dark Templar on the field is gonna find himself spotted out by a couple of overlords.
cRoSs looking to put on some counter pressure. TT1 is on a very low storm count. He actually only has 1 and only 2 high Templars, and he's still only making Zealots. His gas count is quite high.
Only 1 cannon in the wall here as well. As long as cRoSs can not take a catastrophically bad storm, I think he should be fine.
And we have 1 storm left for TT1. There it is. That was a very good storm, even though it doesn't kill that many Hydras. Now these are all bruised up,
Yeah,
forcing
lots of
cRoSs
damage.
to retreat.
Able to save his +1 armor.
Alright, TT1 building up a considerable gas count. Still only making Zealots. The Dragoon transition is going to be slightly later this game. We have the Robo building just now. Should expect Dragoon ranks to follow that up.
Dude, this Ursidon is just protecting the drones. He's just like, no one's gonna hurt my little buddies. Don't worry, guys, I got you. With my 9 HP.
I mean, this is a lot of Hydras from cRoSs, TT1. I mean, he has 2 High Templars, but these don't have Storm. Alright, wisely retreats.
Oh, the Corsairs! 1 goes down instantly. 2 go down, actually. Wow. I did not think that second one was going to die. 3rd one in the red as well.
Alright, he did spot a couple of lurkers morphing with that Corsair retreat.
Oh!
But we still don't see any Dragoons being mixed in.
What's funny is that it's almost like cRoSs just did TT1 a favor. Like, those Corsairs aren't really doing very much at all. I feel like the Ursidons should recover HP like the Zerg, right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't even know why they're on the map. They put them 9 HP so that they're easy to kill.
Yeah.
Alright, big attack from TT1. Gets a couple of decent storms off. We do have 1-1 on these Zealots. Unfortunately, Storm's mostly his Zealots in that fight, and with a good arc from cRoSs, looks like he's going to be able to defend. Does lose the hatch, but wins the fight. TT1 retreats wisely with the remainder of his Zealots. Now he should be producing only Dragoons. He has enough High Templars and Zealots to produce only Dragoons now, and if he could just hold this incoming attack, he'll be in a decent position, taking his 3rd as he killed cRoSs' 4th.
Ooh, if we spread these lurkers out, though. There are no obs yet.
Oh man, dude, these Dragoons not have range.
Oh my gosh, please burrow them! What are they doing? Burrow your lurkers, bro! Oh, thank God. Okay, the cannon is likely going to not be finished. Oh, man.
Alright, I don't think TT1's Dragoons have range.
Alright, we finally have an obs, but this is a very snipeable observer. The 3rd is dead for sure.
Yeah, now cRoSs is on this high ground, making it extremely difficult for TT1 to attack. Observer gets picked off by cRoSs, and now TT1 can actually engage. Second Observer...
can't even go back home.
Yeah, now TT1's army is cut off, and he's going to be contained. Alright, here we go. Second Observer. We have 1 Storm in the tank.
Oh man, TT1 once again.
That High Templar.
This is not good. TT1 moving north here doesn't realize a huge group of Hydras are coming in here. His whole army just gets obliterated. And man, cRoSs is doing work, dude.
Damn, up 2-0. Now, of course, we did see TT1 go down in the series against Yaj and come back. But this looks a little bit differently. This is more cRoSs play. Just pulling TT1 apart. I mean, weird game. Forgotten Spire. Lings get into the main. Zealots that TT1 scouting, like everything was weird from the beginning.
All right, man. This could be an another 3-0 series if things don't go right for TT1 in this next one.
All right, let's not count out TT1.
Oh, gross. I just had a fly into my mouth. Why does this always happen to me while I'm casting? There aren't even, like, flies in here. But for some reason, every time I cast, a fly comes from fucking, like, 2 states away to fly into my mouth. Jesus Christ. Ugh!
Alright, so we have match point. And TT1 spawning as a red Protoss in the top right corner.
cRoSs in the bottom left-hand corner, spawning as a teal Zerg.
Now, I've seen TT1 play on this map, and he favors going Nexus first, without a probe scout. A lot of Zergs like to go hatchery first or overpull on this map, and against either of those builds, Nexus first is very good. I myself prefer to get that probe scout anyway, and even if I get the slightly later Nexus, I'll be fine. It's like, never mind, TT1 is going to probe scout. One of the benefits of a 2-player map is you see what Zerg is up to instantly. And cRoSs not going for an Overlord, this is a 9 pool.
Well, TT1 gonna be glad he scouted, but he's taking the circuitous route, and this is delaying his scout. This is very important. TT1 is just kind of chilling with no buildings. He really wants to get something down right now. We want that forge.
Yeah, let's see if he's gonna realize this is a 9 pool. This is very important. Upon seeing a 9 pool, you switch your build up completely. It's like he gets in. I mean, this looks, he can't tell, but that larva that was building, that's an Overlord. And TT1, I mean, this is a fake from the drone at the net. Because you can't afford the overpull timing for, TT1 didn't realize what's happening. So the overpull timing for an expansion is at 2 minutes. So that's why TT1 threw down that pylon. But with 9 pool, it's slightly later because you want to get these six lings in first.
Yeah.
So TT1 thinks he's being very annoying with this probe, denying his Nana in the third. Now he's gonna realize this is actually a 9 pool. And if you could see, he still hasn't made cannons.
Yeah, we're gonna see Nexus and then cannon. But he's going to see this Zerglings coming out now, realizing what's going on. He's going to throw down double cannon. And
yeah, but
not going to be on time.
The timing for your cannons are, you want your cannons to start as the lings pop. If you can do that, you'll be fine. But this is like several seconds delayed. And even with the long rush distance on match point, these lings are going to get there before the cannons are done.
There's no probe pull either. A good 5-6 probes could potentially delay this long enough for these cannons to get out. TT1 throws down the Nexus here. Oh man, these cannons are just gonna be just barely too slow. Oh, we have the boys. They just arrived just in time. But cRoSs is like, fuck that. Tries to run around. Wow, wow, what a response here. So two Zerglings left alive.
He lets them in anyway. I was waiting to see what happened next because that was an incredible hold from TT1. But now we have lings getting into the main anyway. And while 2 lings might not seem like much, if he could just keep these alive, he doesn't even have to commit. Forcing propulls over and over again is going to be very annoying for TT1. If you can see, TT1 has had, I mean, that propul was clutch, but he had to pull off 9 probes to defend from that, and during that time he wasn't mining. He still doesn't have a gateway up. He's being forced to drill more and more. So even though the Nexus, a pretty fast Nexus against a 9 pool, TT1 is still...
Yeah.
In trouble.
We have to remember too, he made the double cannon response anyways. So I mean, this is all a lot of a commitment to a defense for a 9 pool. And you know, he's still having his probes harassed.
Yeah, and TT1 doesn't even have a gateway up. cRoSs is actually going lair instantly, so cRoSs' tech is so far ahead of TT1's. And his economy is not too far behind either.
Yeah, this is going to be a situation where the Scourge get to the Stargate potentially.
Alright, TT1's gateway going down. We should see the gas being constructed. cRoSs kept these 2 Lings alive, forcing another drill, and the Lings don't die.
Oh my gosh.
Gas going down, but the gas is going down as the lair completes. This is...
The Lings are going to be able to smack this gas too, potentially. Do whatever he wants.
Yeah, gateway not even completed, and there's nothing to deal with these Lings. cRoSs being very annoying, just keeping these alive. Looks like he's finally going to lose 1 Ling. Now 1 Ling... losing 1 Ling is actually pretty huge, because 1 Ling alone doesn't have enough of DPS to target down probes. TT1 just pull them off. But cRoSs's position is looking stronger and stronger by the minute. Spire already started. Looks like the core
before
down now.
Core. Yeah. This is awful.
Speed is done. Speed is done on the Lings. cRoSs's microing around the probes. Gets another one.
Even this one probe, man, like TT1, oh my gosh, is he gonna get another one? No. Okay.
About the only good thing to happen in this game, cRoSs losing a Ling to a cannon.
Yeah.
I mean, cRoSs could do anything at this point. He could just eco extremely hard, knowing TT1's gateway just finished. It's 6 minutes. cRoSs throwing down a 4th and 5th hatch. Everything looks normal from cRoSs's perspective. It's just that TT1 is like at least 2 minutes behind where he would want to be. Stargate going down. Spire is almost done. TT1's being forced to make a cannon in his main mineral line.
Yeah, Mutas could be potentially devastating if that's what cRoSs was going for. Of course, TT1
He is actually
no
going for that. He's saved up. So we're going to see, I think it's 5 Mutas. Or maybe 6.
Yeah, just enough to one-shot the probes and be really annoying. Like, look at the Stargate. It's gonna finish up, like, as the mutas are finished popping. Honestly, a pair of Scourge just sitting on top of the Stargate would have been hilarious.
If cRoSs sending a drone already to take his 4th base. Like, these mutas are gonna give him a lot of map control. Looks like we're gonna throw down the Hydra Den now. Evolution Chamber. And the 4th base, all at once. TT1 has nothing out on the map and no way to punish this, so just extreme greed from cRoSs.
cRoSs can just kill the cannon in one of these mineral lines.
Yeah, it's only 1 cannon, so the 6 muta actually does come into play, because you lose
gosh.
1. You lose 1 muta, but you still have enough to one-shot probes. 1 Corsair, not quite enough to push these mutas away. TT1 building up his Corsair count, getting +1, but it's going to be a while before he can defend this net. Good micro from cRoSs, targeting probes and then mixing it in, hitting the Corsair. Very low health on that Corsair.
Even still, though, TT1's still ahead 10 workers right now. That's going to change, of course.
Yeah, even though TT1 has more workers, cRoSs has way more production. So at any moment, he could just mix in a drone round and he'll be ahead. It's like he's actually playing this very safe, not just going mass drones. Looks like he is mixing in drones now that he feels secure. TT1 with 2 cannons. I mean, his tech is so far behind. He's getting speed. He's starting speed about a minute after it should be completed. Another hatchery going down for cRoSs, and like I said, look at the work count now. After 1 drone round. And TT1's just going to be kept in his base.
Yep, we're going to probably just see a big gateway explosion here once the economy kind of catches up once again. Hopefully a move out with 5 to 7 Corsairs. And try to go for one big attack, and if TT1 can get a base, maybe he stays in this game a little bit longer, but honestly, losing a base at this point in the game is not a game-ending thing for cRoSs like it normally would be.
It looks like we're just going to see Hydra Man again to follow this up. Curiously, cRoSs has never gotten Overlord speed on time. Maybe just didn't factor it in, but that's the only thing to take of note. I'm pretty sure It's an oversight. It looks like TT1 was going to get Dragoon range, but canceled it. I mean, I'm not really sure what he could even do. Looks like he's going to mix in High Templars, move out with these Zealots and Corsairs, trying to get something done. cRoSs looks like he's setting up for a counter with his Mutas and Lings.
He's got a good amount of units on the ground here. Definitely plenty to defeat anything that TT1 could throw across the map at this point. And here we go. The Lings are just cleaning up the natural expansion. What can TT1 even do here? Even if he's able to clean this up very cleanly without losing any of his Corsairs or anything like that, the worker count is just plummeting. Man, cRoSs up 10 supply versus TT1 right now.
It looks like the Zealot do trade favorably against the Hydras that were at the third, but now with the reinforcements and rally being brought, TT1 Zealots get cleaned up, and now we're back at TT1 having no army, only Corsairs. Some High Templars are being produced, but he really needs to get some cannons up, or this counterattack from the Hydras is going to kill him. 2 Zealots going into the fourth, but some units already here from cRoSs.
I don't know what this means, but we have someone in the chat saying toss is Buddha. I really wish I understood these references, man.
Maybe it's booty. Toss is booty.
I wonder if that's a word that it commonly enters Korean lexicon. Booty.
Alright, we have DTs being mixed in. I like this from TT1. He sees no overlord speed. We need that hero DT at the front though. He could just die here. Nope, looks like cRoSs is retreating. Oh, look at all these exposed overlords. This is TT1's chance back in the game. If he can somehow get magic done with not like this, not camping your Corsairs over Hydras.
Dude, look at this DT freaking out. He's getting mineral locked on, and he got no drone kills. It was one Hydra
so these 4 Corsairs will be able to kill this one overlord, and now this DT can get in. DT finally gonna get some harass in. Looks like nope, we're just gonna target the Hydras. What are the upgrades like? We have 1-0 on TT1, 1-0 on cRoSs. +1 armor about to be completed. And cRoSs is +2. It's about a quarter of the way done. So slight upgrade advantage for TT1. He's getting even more drones. His DT is up to 7, 8 kills. 9 kills, 10.
Oh!
Almost get to know, but that was huge. That was huge. Now TT1 is moving out with a very small army, mostly High Templars. Gets scouted by this Sling, unfortunately. And even with getting all those kills, the work count is still in cRoSs' favor. Were the Corsairs? Were they killed?
Looks like our Korean viewers are a very big fan of cRoSs.
I think this might be cRoSs' family in the chat.
2019. Or no, it's not even 2019, it's 2020, bro.
Alright, good storms from TT1, but like I said, this was a puny army. We only had the 5 Zealots with 3 High Templars.
Yeah, the storms were actually insane.
Style is very fierce.
Oh my gosh, the Mutas just ignore that High Templar.
Alright, so after the Corsairs being killed, looks like cRoSs is going to switch back into Mutas, which is very good. It's going to keep TT1 in no position to defend these High Templars, and he could harass the net. That Muta Link counterattack killed all the cannons that were defending the mineral lines.
Yeah, we don't even have a protective cannon here at the natural.
TT1 position looking pretty grim. We have cannons going up at the net trying to protect from the incoming Mutas. We're switching into Dragoons now. But here are the Mutas. 11 Mutas. This is a big commitment. Cleaning up this mineral line. Even if he forces the storms, not having storms to deal with the follow-up Hydra army. It's like the Mutas dive in to kill off the only 2 High Templars.
Oh wow, and only 1 goes down.
And TT1 taps out.
What is going on, dude? These semifinals were ridiculous.
After a quarterfinals with 3 best-of-5s going the distance, we had 2 3-0s. Was not expecting that.
You know what was funny though? these weren't like 3-0s like in the traditional sense where it's just like a stomp. It was like the series, all the games were close, and then it just so happened that it was a 3-0. Like Gypsy versus Dragon, very, very even, right? Gypsy could come out of games no problem with a bunch of victories. I could definitely see that.
Game 3 was a bit of a wonky game. We had Gypsy getting in, but just not scouting the DT tech and then not responding.
I can't believe that happened, dude. But, I mean, very, very interesting games today. Pretty even matches, all in all. So we're going to have cRoSs versus Dragon for Grand Finals. And that's going to be very interesting. I hope you guys all had a good day with us today. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. And, of course, if you could go over to that Match Arena website and put in the NASL3 coupon code, that'd be very helpful. There's also a sponsor quest that you can just do a quick survey to donate $2 as well. If you guys could just go ahead and get that all taken care of for us, that'd be really, really awesome. Help contribute to that prize pool. We really like to pay out good numbers to these guys who've been putting on all these games for you all season long. But yeah, make sure you guys tune in for the Grand Finals. Are we doing that next weekend?
Yeah, it's next Sunday at the same time. It's going to be a best of 7 between cRoSs and Dragon. Dragon is the previous winner of this tournament, so not a surprise to see him back there. But cRoSs, first time, he's probably going to be nervous. I know his family's all here in the chat. Hello, cRoSs family. Well, join us next week, even if cRoSs loses. But it should be very exciting. Next Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific.
Alrighty, guys. Well, thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Welcome to all our Korean viewers. It was very nice to have you here. I hope you guys all have a good rest of your weekend, and everyone take care until next week. Have a good one.
Alright. See you, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Si te gustó este video, no olvides darle like. Y si aún eres nuevo y aún no te suscribes, te invitamos a hacerlo y a darle clic a la campanita. Recuerda que todos los días viernes estaremos subiendo nuevas guías y nuevo material, todo en relación con Starcraft remasterizado. Hasta la próxima, amigos.